Hello, YouTube. It's been a while. I kind of disappeared for a little bit, because life. I guess it just became a little bit too much to make videos. And now it's been a while, and I've missed you all. And I've missed doing this, and it feels like I can kind of jump back in now. It does help that I've bought a lot of books recently. Oops. So I have some things to talk about. So yeah. So basically it's just, life happened, lifed. Nothing bad per se, it's just things felt really busy. And, sitting down to film videos just didn't feel like a thing that I could manage. I've definitely been overthinking, like, the whole book club thing. We made it 2 books in. I filmed what I imagine was not a great quality Twitch stream for the Charlie Lavender book, which I would still like to edit and upload that because I love the book and it deserves to be talked about. And then I read Rainbow Milk, which was also a very good book, but it definitely took me longer to get through it just because. It took me a little while to just get started reading it, but I loved it. And then I never really did anything for that. And, I made this Patreon and, made a subscription, and, it's probably, too early for that kind of thing, so I'm probably still going to keep the Patreon, but, not have a paid membership right now, because one person followed it for free anyways. So it's just, it's early days, love, for that kind of thing. And yeah. So, that's that. So, back on the bandwagon. Gonna try to pick it back up to just talk about things a little bit more. In terms of writing, I've been doing a lot more writing than I usually do, which my regular amount is 0. So there is a novel that I've been working on. It's kind of like so many years in the future from our current reality, which is not the kind of stuff I usually write. I'm definitely more of a fantasy person. I've historically been the kind of writer who's contemporary is not really my thing, both reading and writing it. So this is different. It's very much me processing the world right now, America specifically. But I've gotten some good feedback on it from a real published author, and who said it was good. So that's definitely made me a lot more motivated to keep going. I also think it's just an interesting story to tell. So I'm probably at about, I think it's probably around 14,000 words so far, which again is really good for me, somebody who just doesn't write most of the time. And I've probably been working on that for a couple months, maybe. Probably around a couple months. So that's pretty good. I've been getting up early. 5 a.m. is when my alarm goes off. Sometimes I don't get out of bed until 5:45, but that's still something. And usually I can get at least 30 minutes to an hour of writing in before I really have to get up and start getting ready for work. So that's been exciting. That's definitely a development that I'm happy about, and it was definitely needed, and has made me really excited. And I think this story has the legs to go somewhere. and we'll see. If I could get that bad boy published one day, that would be super freaking sick. And I think it's definitely, like I said, an interesting story to tell. Yeah, so I'll definitely talk more about that as things progress. But right now, it's mostly just about me putting words on a page semi-regularly, so I can call myself an author and feel good about it, or a writer and feel good about it. So yeah, so that's kind of the update on that. But I also have some books that I've bought. So these books fall into the category of semi-recent chapters, Indigo purchases, as well as some well, I guess one of them is like an indie author purchase, but we've got all sorts here. So, whoops. Let's talk about it. So, whoops. We'll go from top to bottom. So the first one I bought is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. So, in an effort to kind of fill the hole that Harry Potter is leaving in my soul, I thought, let's try another really popular children's book series and see how I feel about it. Because I never actually read Percy Jackson as a youth. I think I watched the movie one day when I was really high. I think. I don't quite remember. But I think I watched the movie. But yeah, so I figured, why not try it? It was like $13, which these days for a book, I guess, is cheap. So that's when I bought, and I haven't started it yet. None of these books I've read yet. They're just, you know, going to be added to my bookshelf, which, by the way, I definitely need another bookshelf. There's no getting around it now. We'll have to see if I can find something nice and dirt cheap on Facebook Marketplace and find somebody to drive it to my house, because I do not have a car. But yeah, there's definitely, I need another bookshelf. I need to reorganize everything again, and everything needs to be very badly dusted. But yeah, so Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief is one of my new in my collection. This next one I'm very excited for. I want to read all of their work. Is Eyetooth by Mars Adler. Mars is, I think, a trans author, I'm pretty sure. And has a collection of very interesting queer horror. And this one sounds freaking weird. I will read the back. It says, Adam is a trans art student who frequents an underground plasma donation center to pay for college expenses. His doctor, the too pretty androgynous Dr. Mead, offers him the deal of a lifetime, experimental surgery to help his failing heart for 25 grand, no strings attached. It sounds too good to be true, but Adam is desperate to make ends meet and to get a shot at living a normal life. He gets a lot more than he signed up for, though, as the after effects of the surgery send him into a spiral of lust, cannibalistic urges, and surreal magic. Dr. Mead is nowhere to be found, and Adam falls into single-minded obsession. Will Adam survive his metamorphosis? It sounds weird as shit, and I am very excited for that one. The next one I am also very excited for, an author I've also followed recently on Instagram. I am following so many wonderful authors on Instagram. There's way too many books I want from all of them. But this one, the art of the characters, pulled me the fuck in, for sure. Definitely partly because the mage main character very much reminds me of Gale from Baldur's Gate 3. Cannot deny that fact. Purple magic long-haired boy. But yeah, so this is called The Crack at the Heart of Everything. It is basically like the bad mage who destroys a town, gets exiled into that town, and the handsome warrior knight in shining armor goes to him and they fall in love. So it's like a enemies to lovers kind of situation. Bad guy, develops a soul. And it just feels like a very sweet, interesting, enemies to lovers, gay. I don't know if it's a cozy fantasy, but it's got kind of that vibe. So yeah, by Fiona Fenn. Definitely excited for this one as well. The next one is another like indie author. I got the special order for this one, which includes a bookmark and some stickers as well, which are all very beautiful. So this is by Raphael Nicolas, Angels Before Man. This is a series that they have, this Angels Before Man series. And it is, well, literally on the back it says, a queer retelling of the fall of Satan. So there's Lucifer, there's Michael, it says Angels Before Man, so this is kind of their story, up in the ether of heaven or whatever. And it's their like love story. So, and I'll read the back because it explains it a little better than I can. So it says, in an eternal paradise, the most beautiful angel Lucifer struggles with shame, identity, and timidity with little more than the desire to worship his creator. It isn't until the strongest angel Michael comes into his life that Lucifer learns to love himself. Along the way, their friendship begins to bloom into something else. Maybe the first romance in the history of everything. But this God is a jealous one, and maybe paradise is not paradise. So as I've been kind of like looking at religion for myself, I also really love like subversive religious shit. This is an author I found kind of through that. Mars Adler also has some similar work. And I just love like religious fuckery, to be honest. I don't think that's blasphemous or anything like that. I think it's fun as heck. So this is definitely kind of in that vein. Yeah, definitely very excited to delve into this. And the little sticker treats that I got are also so fun and lovely. I love stuff like that. But yeah, that's definitely one that whenever I do dig into it, I'm very excited for too. This next one is another one from Chapters. I wasn't looking for it. I was just kind of walking past and I saw the cover, first of all, looked very beautiful. And then I saw that it's queer also. So it's All Out, the No Longer Secret Stories of Queer Teens Throughout the Ages. It's an anthology. And it's basically like fairy tale retellings, kind of, yeah. Different genres, maybe not just fairy tale, but like young adult queer authors, to create this anthology. So, like on the inside sleeve, it says, from a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood set in war-torn 1870s Mexico, featuring a transgender soldier, two girls falling in love while mourning the death of Kurt Cobain, forbidden love in a 16th century Spanish convent, or an asexual girl discovering her identity amid the 1970s roller disco scene. All Out tells a diverse range of queer stories across cultures, time periods, identities. So definitely, okay, not just fairy tales, but yeah, I love stuff like this. I love a good anthology. And yeah, that inside cover drew me in automatically. I'm like, I want to read those things. So this is definitely something that I'm excited to read at some point too. And then the last two I have are for $8 each, a collection of short stories. And it's like a a priest detective, so like cozy mystery, English countryside. I think this is a show as well. I think it's literally a show that they made. But first of all, I love a good cozy mystery. I love a good cozy mystery. It's one of my favorite genres, just in general. Like, Murdoch Mysteries is set in Toronto in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And then there is Midsummer Murders, which is like an English show that started in like the 90s and I think is still going, maybe. But I love a good cozy mystery. The fact that like he's a priest and is like investigating mysteries, I love that too. I love a good like priest nun scenario. And like literally $8 for each of these. I thought it was a great deal. There are a bunch of short stories. So that's definitely something I am excited to read also. So yeah, so that is my first little book haul that happened in kind of separate instances. And yeah, I'm very excited for that. So yeah, I don't know how else to close this. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna film 2 more videos, I think today, just talking about some more books that I've bought. I am trying to stop buying books now. I went on, as you'll see, a bit of a spree in the last little while, and like there's other things I need to spend money on and save money for. I'm not doing a great job at saving money for My Chem and Fan Expo, so I gotta rein it in just a scotch. Because yeah, I also have no room. As I mentioned, I very much need a third bookshelf, because I don't have anywhere to put these bad boys at the moment. Yeah, so I'm happy to be back. Hopefully we'll make a good habit of filming regularly and uploading regularly-ish, even if it's just to talk a little bit about little things. What am I reading right now? I just read, well, I didn't finish it, but I read Kiss of the Basilisk for my Romantasy book club, which is just pouring on a page, for sure. The plot is kind of interesting. It's like a basilisk prince and a human prince that this human girl has to deal with. She's a very like virginal, oh, I've never kissed a boy, I've never seen a penis, and this basilisk has to teach me how to fuck so the prince can marry me. Yeah. So, and they just bang a lot, and eventually gets repetitive. I like skip through sex scenes at a certain point. But it was kind of fun, kind of hot, but I haven't finished it, and then now I know the ending, so now I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, do I really need to finish this? Probably not. And the next book club is Spark of the Everflame. I'm not going to remember or tell you any of these authors' names, because I don't remember, and I'm not going to look them up because my phone is used for filming. But it's called Spark of the Everflame. I debated on whether or not I wanted to buy it in physical book. And while it does have a lot of good reviews, there are also some like 3-star reviews on Amazon where I was like, it's just not selling it for me. And, I read the first page and I read the last page and I peeked in the middle. And it sounds interesting enough, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, if I've gleaned that much from it and I'm not like, oh, I want that, then I don't really want a physical copy of it. So I bought the ebook, because there's definitely another book that I bought for book club where I'm like, oh, this looks gorgeous, the story looks interesting, let me buy the hardcover, so that, $40 Canadian. And I was just kind of like, eh. And I might go back to it when I don't have like, now that I, don't have the pressure of like, oh, I need to read this by a certain date. But I'm like, I just spent $40 on a book that I'm not like jazzed about, So I didn't want to do that again. But yeah, that's the next book club read. So I am gonna get into that, and we'll see. We'll see what else I get into. I did finish um the second and third book of the Tea and Tome series. So the first one is Can't Spell Tea for Treason. I feel like I've talked about that one before, but my partner has also bought me A Pirate's Life for Tea, which is the second book. So good. And the third one, Tea at the Altar, also so good. The series is amazing. Everybody should read it. And I cannot wait for the softcover to come out in August. If it's at Fan Expo, I will buy it there. But yeah, I'm very excited for that series. I stayed up so late reading those books, and I finished them so fast. But yeah, I just couldn't stop reading it. I would get to a chapter, the end of a chapter, and I'm like, I need to keep going. And it would be like 12 p.m. and I would need to force myself to go to bed. But yeah, I also finished what I could of that. It was so good. But yeah, that's all I can think of to talk about for now. If you come back and watch, thank you so much. If you are new from this video, welcome, welcome. I am really going to try to be at least a little more consistent. Listen, I'm not going to be that person probably that uploads every single week. You know, if I can do 2 or even 1 video a month, that's good for me for now. You know what I mean? You know, I don't have that much to talk about, I don't think. And I don't want to talk about nothing for no reason. But I'll do what I can when I can, and I'll just be a little bit more consistent than I have been, because these are fun. I like doing them. I want to be, you know, out there with this kind of thing. So yeah, that's that. See you in the next one. Love you guys.